Welcome to Calvin's Guide Game. Today I'm working on getting to the end of my top 100 games of all time. I'm trying to get this finished before the end of the year. So today I'm on my 20 to 11. So if you haven't subscribed yet, before I get to my number 20, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. Subscribe. What are you waiting on? And also hit that bell for notifications so when new videos come out, you'll know. And also, if you like this video, hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. Also, hit me a comment. Guys, do you like this series of my top 100 board games of all time? And also, let me know which ones you think should have been ranked higher or which ones you think probably didn't need to rank that high. Or what are some of your favorite board games of all time? I'd love to hear it. So, let's go ahead and get started with my number 20. My number 20 is Horrified. Horrified is a newer game. It is about your good old American monsters, you know, those, what's his name? Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Frankenstein, a mummy, and the Bride of Frankenstein, right? Has to have a wife. And in this game, you are trying to defeat those. So in defeating them, there's certain things you have to do with each different monster. Guys, I enjoy this game a lot. It is cooperative. And you notice probably a lot of these games on my list are cooperative because I love them. And I love cooperative games. I like to play with other people and see what their reasoning is and their decision making and how we can work together to solve a puzzle or a crisis, right? So in Horrified, you're trying to defeat the monsters and you can choose to do 2, 3, or 4 monsters. I wouldn't recommend 4, but if you do, hey, and you can beat it, great for you. I have a hard time beating 2, but I enjoy the game. It is fabulous. You're trying to rescue some people, collect some things to fight off these monsters and do some certain things on their cards to make them, to beat them. So, Horrified, a great family game as well. It's my number 20, Horrified. Number 19 is a game called Atlantis Rising. Played this with my friend Josh. I really enjoy this game. I don't own it, but boy, do I want to. This game it's kind of in like this star-shaped kind of board, and the board has like almost puzzle pieces going up each little row. And on those rows, you're going to, once something sinks, you flip it over and you can see the island of Atlantis sinking right before your eyes. It is a beautiful game. They've done a great job with the components and all that. But what's fun is, and it is a cooperative game as well, what's fun is trying to save Atlantis, and you're building this machine. I don't know what kind of machine it is. Maybe it's to raise the island. I don't remember. Or some machine to get you out of there. But you're trying to get these components to build this machine. So when you put your workers out, your people onto the island, you get to do certain things, but you have to roll a dice, and it depends on how much you get or what you get if you roll in between a certain number. This game it's just a beautiful, fantastic game. The components are unbelievable. The board is beautiful. Guys, if you've never played Atlantis Rising, I think you might need to do that. I really enjoy the game. That's why Atlantis Rising is my number 19. Number 18. I played this game with a person in my game group, Kyle. It's called This War of Mine. Kyle brought this game in. The concept of the game really intrigued me. This is a war-stricken area where survivors are they're just civilians trying to survive through this war. And you're in an abandoned kind of building. You're going around trying to discover things. You go out and you scavenge for things. It's kind of a bleak game. If you've ever played I think they have a video game or some kind of app-driven game. I'm not sure. I think somebody had said something that there is one out there. But this War of Mine gives you some really tough decision-making, moral concept decision-making that is just fantastic. I really enjoy this game. I want to own it. I haven't pulled the trigger on buying it. This War of Mine is a great game. It is very thematic. If you like a thematic game, this one is probably for you. if you like that exploration, dreary drudgery of trying to get everything that you need. Guys, this War of Mine is a great game. That's why it's my number 18. My number 17. I played this game with somebody in my game group, Josh. Roll for the Galaxy. Roll for the Galaxy is a game where you're rolling dice, assigning them to certain things in your behind the screen, so no one knows what you're assigning your dice to. You roll your dice behind the screen as well. So when it's revealed of who does what, you remove the screen. Everybody knows what someone's done. You're going to flip these deals out in the middle of what gets activated. And if you have dice, it wasn't the one you actually activated, but you had dice underneath it, you get to follow that as well. And you'll get to do those actions for however many dice that you have down there. Guys, I really enjoy Roll for the Galaxy. You're trying to build your tableau of things going on in your colony. It is such a good game. I love the rolling of the dice. I love assigning the dice. I like to see what other people are doing so that I get to follow. I don't get to see it to the end, but hopefully, I'm hoping when I put a dice there, I can go, okay, I really believe they're going to go for this time because they really need to either sell some goods or they need to explore or something. So I'm gonna put that under here, hoping that that's what they're going to do. So when they do, I'm like, yes, I get to follow what they're doing. Guys, this game is wonderful. Roll for the Galaxy is my number 17. Number 16 is a bag builder. It's called the Quacks of Quinlanburg. Quacks of Quinlanburg is a push your luck bag building game where you're trying not to explode your pot that you're making a potion in, right? You're all these quack, that's why it's called Quacks, all these quack, I don't want to say magicians, medicine people maybe, I don't know what they're called, but they're trying to make these potions, right? If your pot explodes, the good thing is if your pot does explode, it's not the end for you. So when you're pushing your luck, and some people have a hard time pushing their luck, they don't know when to stop. And you can go up to so many of these cherry bombs, and when you get over that, you're going to bust. So if you bust, you can't do both things. You can't get the points, and you can't get, currency or points. You either get the victory points or you get currency. So, but if you don't bust, you get both. And you'll get to buy new things to go into your bag to hopefully help you pull things out that does it. And it'll help you go further, because the further you go in this pot, the better you'll get. Now, there's a good catch-up mechanism in this game. They're rat tails or something like that. But if you're behind so far, you get to move your starting marker out so far. So you're starting ahead of everybody else. Where everybody else starts on 0, you may be starting on 3. So it'll help build your pot up faster and to get you more victory points and also get you more buying power. Guys, Quacks of Quinlanburg is fantastic. If you haven't played it, you must be under a rock because it was very popular. Probably still is very popular. That's why the Quacks of Quinlanburg is my number 16. My number 15 is it's a cooperative game, kind of a dark game called Black Orchestra, where you're trying to kill Hitler. You're plotting to kill Hitler. Now, this game it's difficult, not impossible, because we've done it. My game group has done it. You draw these plot cards. It may be to poison him, and it'll tell you need this, you need poison and something else, and you have to find Hitler in Berlin or somewhere, right? So if you're in the same spot as Hitler, you can try to assassinate him with whatever plot that you have. Now, depending on the strength of his army, depending on the strength of things going on, you've got to roll these dice. You got to get a certain above number, higher than his influence or army or whatever it is. Guys, I totally enjoy this game because you don't know what's at all these spaces. And not at the first of the game, you can't go to everywhere on the board. This game progresses as you go. And you're going to be turning up cards every time that have something bad happen or moves Hitler or his top leadership, I guess. And they go to different places. And if you're with one of them, you're going to get a penalty if you start your turn where they're at. So hopefully, on somebody else's turn, they're going to move again. So you don't always start your turn on somebody that's bad. It may happen to you, but may not. So, number 15 is Black Orchestra. I enjoy this cooperative game. Number 14 is one of those deduction games I really like. It's Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. You have one murderer. Depending on how many people are playing, you may have an accomplice, and you'll have a witness, and you'll have some investigators, and you'll have a what is that person called that does anyway, a forensic scientist, I think is what it's called. Maybe. I don't know. But the forensic scientist is the one giving out the clues. So, the forensic scientist, I call him a forensic scientist. He may be something else. Maybe called something else. But anyway, that's what I'm going to call him. They get to know who the murderer is because the murderer's going to tell them. You have these cards out in front of you that are murder weapons and then clues. Okay? So, you'll have 4 clues, 4 murder weapons in front of everybody except for the criminal investigator, whatever he's called. Anyway. Forensic investigator, I think, or scientist. He won't have any. But the murderer is going to pick a weapon and a clue. And so you're going to lay out these cards that have some things on them that talk about condition of the body. Was it, for sound, was it a loud sound, blah, blah, blah. Or, there's tons of stuff that it could be. There's tons of these little stacks of things. But you're going to start out with 3 main ones that always are there. And then you're going to draw 3 that you can give extra clues to. Some of it may be the time of year, like spring, summer, winter, fall, whatever. And you have to choose. So if the guy gives you like a baseball bat as the murder weapon, you could kind of put maybe springtime or summer. And that's a clue to know that, hey, it may be something that can be done outdoors, right? And so each person that goes around, starting with the person to the left of the criminal investigator, gets to kind of give their opinion on who it might be. They're going to go around, they're going to look at the clues that I gave as the forensic scientist, and they get to do like a 30-second, well, I believe it's so-and-so because he's got this and this, and I think that could be a possible thing given the clues that you've done, or it could be Susie over here who has the such and such, and I think this clue fits kind of some of this stuff, but that's what I'm leaning towards right now. And then the next person, they all get to do this for about 30 seconds, right? And I try to keep it to 30 seconds. I try to time it because people can get long-winded and they want to do so much on one turn. This game is 3 turns long. You'll get to have one guess. So when you get ready to guess, you turn in your badge and you make the guess. Right or wrong. If you're right, you win the game. Unless the murderer can kill the witness. If the murderer knows who the witness is and kills them, then you lose. But if the murderer can't figure out who the witness is and they kill the wrong person, then they're convicted. So this game is fantastic. If you haven't played Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, you need to do that. That's why it's my number 14. Number 13 is a brand new game. This game is called The Night Cage. I played this game with my wife when I first got it. I backed this on Kickstarter. I went all in on it. Didn't know much about it. I know Smirk and Dagger and Smirk and Laughter games, so I knew them going in. So I backed this game. The game is a scary game, and it is cooperative. You're trying to find keys. 4 people. You're going to play with 4 characters every time. Has to have a full set. So what happens is you have a candle. You are prisoners in this night cage, right? There's tunnels. The board loops around. There's no actual edge. You'll have tiles. All you have is a candle, and you can only see what's right next to you. So this game is kind of creepy. When me and my wife played it, she thought the theme really come through, and it gave her kind of a wow, this is really spooky, because you really can't see anything around you but the tiles around you. And there's these monsters that come out called wax eaters that eat your wax or your candle that shortens your time. And what happens, you have to draw stacks off this candle stack. You lose tiles. So actually it is eating the wax from your candle. This game is just, and once a wax eater hits you, your light goes out, your candle goes out. And now you can't see anything but the tile you're standing on. So this game is just super thematic. I enjoy it a lot. I think the game is fantastic. The components are just marvelous. For the all-in on the I don't know what the retail version looks like. I haven't played it, or haven't. I'm sure I have the stuff in my box. I just don't know. I play with the upgraded components. So the upgraded components are fabulous. But that's why the Night Cage is my number 13. Fabulous cooperative game. Very thematic. My number 12 is Above and Below. I love Above and Below. I think Ryan Lockett makes a great game. Above and Below, I love the artwork. I love the characters. I love the whole storytelling. Now, are the stories cohesive? No. But they're thematic enough when you go delve on below. You get these little stories that happen. And it's like a snippet in time is the way I think of it. I don't think of it as a cohesive story. Now, you may get some pieces that are like, oh, you were going down a river and you discovered a such and such. And then on your next turn, it may say, in that river, there's this cave, da-da-da. So it kind of has a streamlined theme. But you get to make decisions. And by sending people down, you have to send at least 2 people down below to explore. And you have these lantern symbols. And you're going to roll a dice for each person. They have little certain numbers on them that give them so many lanterns if you roll a dice a certain way. And you'll get whatever reward it is if you succeed. And if there's a failure condition, then you'll get that as well if you fail. So guys, I love Above and Below. You're trying to build houses above. You're trying to build things below in the cave. You're using your workers to harvest, to build, to recruit people. Game is just a quick game. It's not long at all. I like the game a lot. You're going to do one thing, person's going to do another thing, you do another thing until you run out of people to use, and then you pass, and the other person passes, and you reset the board and start again. Guys, I love Above and Below. It's a great, great game. That's why it's my number 12. My number 11, which I thought would be higher, is Eldritch Horror. Eldritch Horror is a great game. I love it. It's a cooperative game set in the Cthulhu mythos, in Arkham Horror kind of thing. Eldritch Horror is beat out Arkham Horror for me because it's just faster to me. My wife really enjoys it because it's thematic. Each character has their own deck that deals with them. It's not so disjointed. Now, the adventures you go on sometimes in some of the cities or the other areas are a little disjointed. But everything else is pretty thematic with the monsters. I really enjoy this game. You're trying to close gates. You're trying to do other things. Guys, Eldritch Horror is my number 11. We're almost there, folks. We're at my 10 to number 1 coming up next on the next video. Guys, if you like this video, let me know. Hit that thumb. I would like to see it. You know, it looks like this on the deal down there. It looks kind of like that. So hit that button. And if you hadn't hit the subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. I should appreciate that too. And as I always say, guys, get a board game to the table, spend time with friends and family, and thank you for watching Calvin's Guide Game.